Hello and welcome to the Story Pilgrim. Short haul, Euro Odyssey. As you may or may not know, I work now part-time as cabin crew. I'm based out of London Heathrow and I do a mix of long and short haul flights. The number of destinations I could visit is substantial and growing. Short haul destinations are within a 30-minute to a 5-hour flight. I thought I'd give you a little taster of what a 4-day Euro tour is like. But before we take off, please make sure you are following this podcast. There is a new episode every 2 weeks. Right, you have your boarding pass, your group has boarded, hand luggage is safely stowed away, seatbelts are fastened, and we are ready for takeoff. I am in the crew car park at T5, about to go on a 4-day trip, 10 sectors. That means I do 3 flights today, 2 flights tomorrow, 2 flights on Tuesday and 3 flights on Wednesday. I'll tell you more about it. This is short haul. Reporting centre where I check in for my flights, and when I get here I can do all sorts of things like check what the flights, how many loads are on the flights, check where the aircraft is. So today I've got 3 flights. I'm going from London to Barcelona, then Barcelona to London, and then London to Toulouse, and I'll stay in Toulouse tonight. I can see the aircraft that I'm taking from London to Barcelona is currently in Basel. It hasn't left Basel yet. Today this plane will be going from London to Basel, Basel to London, London to Barcelona, Barcelona to London, London to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to London. So it's doing 6 flights today. Didn't realise that how much these aircraft get used. This is a 319, so it's one of our smaller planes. So we'll just be taking it from London to Barcelona, Barcelona to London. But I know I can look here, I've checked in really early, so I can see that the plane is still in Basel, and I can also look in a different area and I can find out where that plane is going to be, what stand it's going to be on. It's not showing me the actual, it's showing me the stand, it doesn't show you the gate until, which is usually the same. But we'll keep an eye on that, and then I can update all the information about the passengers, where they've come from, where they're going, all those type of things. So I'm checked in, 3 flights today. I'll probably check in with you during the day, and then when we get to Toulouse tonight, we're not going to get to Toulouse till about 10 o'clock tonight, and then I get the morning in Toulouse, and then tomorrow I'll be going Toulouse to London, London to Athens. An app that I use a lot to see where the aircraft are is Flight Radar. You can just download it to your phone. Anyone can use it. There are thousands of aircraft on there. At any time it will show you every single aircraft that is in the air. They're all like yellow or blue depending on how they're being tracked, but you can just click on that aircraft and it will show you where it's come from, where it's going, how high it is, how fast it is. You can also type in like the flight number or the aircraft registration, and it will show you where that plane is and where it's been and where it's going. So it's a really cool thing to use. When it comes to Flight Radar, I am a little bit of a geek. I'm hooked. I love it. So many planes in the air at this moment in time. All checked in, and before you know it, I'm in a different country. We are in Barcelona. It took an hour 45 to get down here. We turned around the plane in an hour, and to get the other passengers are just starting to come on now. I'm down the back. We've got a full plane coming back. That's about 140 passengers. Going back, when we get back to London, we got 2 hours to get to before our flight to Toulouse takes off. So it's quite a busy day. This is typical on short haul, doing all of these flights. But uneventful flight down, hopefully an uneventful flight back. We have a stowaway, we have a fly on board that managed to get on when they were loading the catering at London. So this fly is now still flying around. It doesn't realise it's in Spain. It'd be quite funny if it did get off, but we don't open the back doors, so it's still flying around my galley. It's quite a big fly, so hopefully it will get off in London, and unbeknownst to it, it's travelled several hundred miles, or who knows, it might stay on. I don't know where this plane is going next. I think it's going to Amsterdam actually, so he may end up in Amsterdam. It's a mystery. Lucky fly. No idea where that fly ended up. Certain countries and destinations we will spray the cabin with a bug spray to prevent the spread of diseases such as malaria. So far the day is going smoothly. Hopefully it continues that way. Or maybe not. So I am now on the second plane for the day, third flight of the day. I'm on a 320 now, and we are supposed to take off for Toulouse at 8:15, but the pilots are coming in from another flight, and they are late, so we have to basically wait for them. So we do our security checks, and then we just sit and wait for the pilots to turn up. Once the pilots are here, then we know we can go, and we can get the passengers on board. So we're going to be late getting into Toulouse, but who knows how late. We shall find out later. Also fun, isn't it? So we got different variants that we do short haul. So all Airbuses, 319, 320 and 321. So did the Barcelona on a 319, we're now on a 320 to Toulouse. It is local time, 5 minutes to 1 in the morning. That would be 5 minutes to midnight. Back in England, I have just got out of the shower in my hotel here in Toulouse. It's been a long day. We reported at 11:20 this morning, and I'm pretty much done. That was an hour 25 minutes down to Toulouse. It was a bit bumpy coming in. There's a lot to do to make sure that you get in safely and everything's done ready for the aircraft. Will stay here tonight in Toulouse, and then another cabin crew and flight crew will take that flight back in the morning. I'm due to fly back tomorrow at 5:30 local time, 4:30 UK time. Fly back to England, to Heathrow, have a couple of hours layover there, and then I do a flight to Athens. So tomorrow morning I get to go and have a look around Toulouse. In the meantime, it's good night. That's day one of 4. 3 flights done, all uneventful, exactly what we want. It's also interesting as you fly around, like today we've moved somewhere in the region of 500 passengers from either London to Barcelona, Barcelona to London, London to Toulouse, and they're all travelling for completely different reasons. A gentleman on the flight from Toulouse back down has come in from California, and he is delivering a handle for the space station that is being built somewhere here in Toulouse. He's going to make sure that this handle fits correctly, and then he is literally getting on the 11 o'clock flight tomorrow morning, and he's going back to California. So he's brought this handle that they've made to make sure it fits on a space station that's being made here, and then he goes back. Sat opposite him was a lady and her 6-year-old daughter that were going on holiday. It fascinates me, all the different people that are flying around for so many different reasons. I'm sure we'll get maybe a couple more interesting ones before these 4 days are out. Carousels seem to be a thing that I keep coming across. There's a a wonderful double-decker carousel here. You can go up and to a second level, which is in town, which is absolutely lovely. It's really lovely. Toulouse. Have a few hours to wander around. I have already heard one French gentleman say "ooh la la," so not playing to stereotype or anything, but that's one of the first things that I heard. Toulouse, known as the Pink City, because of most of the buildings use like a pale coloured brick. That means that the hue of the day changes with the light. It's the 4th largest city in France. Didn't realise it was so big. And remember me telling you about the gentleman bringing the space handle down? Well, I also didn't realise that Airbus, this is the headquarters of Airbus, and the French space program is based here, so it's quite a hub for aerospace. There is the Toulouse sausage. I'm not quite sure what that is, but maybe I might try one of them later if I have time, if I come across the right place to have it. Louis XIV had the Canal de Midi built here in 1667, which is that's a 240 kilometre canal from the Mediterranean Sea to Toulouse. It's quite an iconic one. You see these pictures of like this very straight canal and like an archway of trees going all the way along it. And I think they wouldn't have been bothered about the football last night, because I think Toulouse, I have it in my mind, is more known for its rugby. So I'm stood in a lovely little square here. It's a lovely day, absolutely gorgeous. So make the most of having a little bit of off time before we do the 2 flights today. That will be going from Toulouse back up to London. I have a couple of hours in London, providing we're on time, and then we will head down to Athens. It's a late departure, it's like just gone 8 o'clock when we leave, but Athens is a couple of hours ahead of us, so it's going to be late by the time we get in tonight into Athens. Toulouse is a place I never thought I would visit, but I had a few hours to explore. So shall we? And please forgive my attempts at pronouncing the French names. I am in the Jardin Royal, which is part of a series of parks. There's 3 of them. There's the Grande Ronde and the Jardin des Plantes, which is one of the oldest botanical gardens in France. Been here since 1752. They apparently tried to put a botanical garden in 1730 in another area in Toulouse, but it didn't. The soil wasn't great, so they came over here by 1752, and it's a lovely landscaped garden. It has these upper elevated walkways that you can go between them. So I'm in the Jardin Royal. I'm going to wander over to the Grande Ronde and into the Jardin des Plantes. You probably hear the fountain in the background, so it's a home to quite a lot of like wildfowl, and it's just a lovely green open space. I love how here they're using cabbages as well as like a part of the decoration. Don't really see that in England. See it in America, but I just think it's great that you have this. The cabbage looks great in amongst the flowers, and yeah. Don't think I'll have a theme for this little trip because there's a lot going on with regards to just logistics basically, but the one thing that will be with me throughout this trip is people and people travelling to various places. I mean, I'm doing 10 flights, and how many destinations do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places that I'm going to. I mean, that should have been an easy maths for me to do, wasn't it? But it wasn't. Silly me. I always chat to people on the flight, see, if they're coming home from holiday, if they're away on business. It's always interesting to find out what people are doing. We had the gentleman yesterday with the space handle. That's pretty cool. And the lady going on holiday. There's a lovely bandstand here, right in the middle of this. I'm in the Grand Ronde. So I have just stopped at a cafe in the Jardin des Plantes. Got myself a lovely little cafe au lait and a chocolate muffin that is very naughty. It's got lovely melted chocolate right in the middle of it. A lovely start to the day. It's very peaceful, very tranquil. A lot of people out just reading books. That's nice to see. Thinking about people, I just walked past a CrossFit place where there are some men sprinting down, coming in, very sweaty. They're all coming around the corner. They must be doing sort of like a circuit training thing. Here's another one. And right next door there's a guy stood on his steps with a big belly, smoking a cigarette. Doesn't have a care in the world. That's great. Maybe there's something to be said with that. I mean, that gentleman was probably in his 60s. All of these young men that are running are in their, I would say, 30s, late 20s, 30s. And there's a gentleman in the 60s just stood there having a cigarette. I have successfully ordered myself a jambon fromage baguette and a custard pommel, I think, from the bakery. It's the basics, isn't it? But yeah, I'm gonna have me ham and cheese baguette and me apple pastry, and then head back to the hotel and get ready for checkout. I may have mentioned it before. It's a nice thing with doing this job as a cabin crew, is when you get to stay in the hotel, you literally stay in the room until it is time for you to leave and go to the hotel. So there's no checking out by 12 o'clock or anything like that. You write down when you get there what time you're checking out, what time you're picking up, and that's the time you check out, which is great. It was a delightful morning in Toulouse. I'm so fortunate, and I do get spoiled. However, I am there to work, and it is time to get back to it. But just looking at the flights here today, the aircraft started today in London. It went London to Malaga, Malaga to London. It is now on its way to Toulouse. It hasn't taken off yet. And then obviously we're going back to London, and then the plane is going to go to Munich tonight. But we're obviously only doing the London to Toulouse. But I can see on our operation dashboard, which is what we use, that we have a slot delay of about 52 minutes, which means that we are stuck in Toulouse, and means we're going to arrive into London about 45 minutes, and we have 2 hours to get to our next one. Now, if we don't get back to London within an hour 20 of us due to take off from Athens, there is a chance that they will take us off that flight, and I will end up being in London and miss the Athens flight. Now, that has consequences, many different places. It means that then I've lost a trip and I've lost the Athens tomorrow. It means I'll have to go home, which is no bad thing, but it also means I lose money. So you really don't want this effect of happening to you. Because what it would mean is then if I miss the Athens trip, it means I would go home tonight, I would have to come back late tomorrow night just to do the trip out to Zurich, and then finish off the trip with the Zurich and the Glasgow. So this is when you do short haul, when you see that these aircraft are doing 5 or 6 flights a day, and any one of those could get delayed for any reason whatsoever. It could be a passenger getting sick, it could be a technical fault, it could be crew. There's lots of different things. Like the flight crew that we're with today, they are coming back with us from Toulouse. They flew out with us last night, and they're then going on to Prague. They're going to be in Prague tonight. So you've got all these different combinations of people doing different things on different rosters. It is an operational nightmare. I'd love to spend a day in operations just to figure out how they do it. We're going to go downstairs, and hopefully the slot delay won't be too long, because if it gets any longer, we ain't making that Athens flight. So it is 6 minutes past 5 in the morning, and that's local time in Athens, Greece. We got in from Toulouse, and the flight in from Toulouse was delayed. So the flight leaving London to Toulouse was delayed by an hour because they had a problem with the jetty. So that meant we were delayed, but it didn't really matter because the flight was delayed of the other aircraft coming in from Larnaca that we were getting on to go to Athens. And then we had huge delays over Europe with thunderstorms, which cuts down the amount of traffic that can go. Basically, if you, in a normal space, say within 100 miles, you'd have 10 aircraft. When you get the thunderstorms and stuff, they might say, we can only have 5 aircraft in that area now. So it cuts down the amount of traffic that can go, so you get what they call slot delays. So we had a slot delay, and we are now well behind. So now there's certain rules and agreements that you have about the amount of rest that you can have. So basically, when we get to the hotel and we get our key, we have to have 10 hours rest before I give my key back in. So that means they have to adjust. That means the flight back tomorrow from Athens will be delayed, because we're supposed to be leaving the hotel at 5 minutes past 2 local time, but we're not going to get to the hotel until at least 5:35, which means that we can't leave the hotel until 3:35. So that means the flight back is going to be delayed by about an hour and a half. We only have 2 hours to get our Zurich flight, so that means the Zurich flight might get either cancelled for us, or it might mean that we get delayed getting into Zurich. So it's just a knock-on effect of how it all happens. So we'll find out. We'll get to the actual hotel, and we'll figure out what happens from there. It's all interesting stuff. We have made it to the hotel here in Athens, and because of all the mess with us being late and stuff, we are now, because of the minimum rest, we are going to position back tomorrow on a flight from Athens to London. They have taken me off the Zurich, so I don't get to see Zurich, and I will then on... What day is that? So what day is it? It's Tuesday. So position back on Tuesday. So Wednesday, I will then have to go in and finish off and do the Glasgow there and back. So I miss going out to Zurich and coming back from Zurich. They take that off my roster. So that basically means that I miss out on probably about 100, maybe £150 in allowances, because of all these things, I actually then end up kind of getting punished in a way, if you want to use it that way. I lose out on earning money. It means I don't work. I'm resting now. I'm going to go to bed now. It's way early, late. I don't know what you would class it as. So I don't have to work on the Tuesday day. I basically just get on a plane and I fly back as a passenger with position. It's called positioning. So I'll have to do it in. I think I have to be in uniform. Position back, don't work, get off the plane, go home, have a night at home, which I wasn't supposed to have, which is nice, it's good, get an extra night at home, but I then have to go back. So basically, I lose out on money, and I then also have to pay petrol to get home and petrol to get back that I shouldn't really have to be paying for. So it really is, it's not very fair. It's a really weird job. It's a very, very weird job. When it goes to plan, everything's great. When it doesn't, it's a right mess. So I'm going to get some sleep, and I'll wake up tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to have any time to go around. I just got a very quick glimpse of the Acropolis in the sunrise. It would have been cool, actually, now. If I'd have known that I am positioning back, I could have gone for a walk for the sunrise up to the Acropolis. It's only a 25-minute walk from this hotel. Is punishment too harsh a word? Answers on a postcard, please. This career is a lifestyle. Some days I don't even know what day of the week it is. Because of what turned out to be a broken jet bridge, I lost out on going to Zurich. But I did get to go home instead. It is 10:30 on the Tuesday, and I'm back home. We positioned back from Athens. We were late getting back, like by half an hour. So now I will go back up to Heathrow tomorrow to do a there and back to Glasgow, and then that's the 4-day tour. Real mess up. Completely ballsed up, but what else can you do? We are back. It's day 4. I had my night at home, and we have a flight up and down to Glasgow. Report time is at 5 o'clock. I should clear at 10:25. That means I'm finished my duty at 10:25. Let's see if that happens. They are busy flights. Both of them are busy flights. Oh, it's drop off only. I'm looking at buses to take me in. I'm in the car park. They are busy flights, and there's quite a lot of gold members. These flights are the typical flights that you get from Manchester, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Newcastle. All of these flights are what we call filler flights. So most of these people that are coming up and going down have come in from long haul flights. They've come in from all over the world. America, South Africa, Australia, India, and they're going back home or they're going away. So they're going on holiday or they're going on business trips. So these are always really busy. Glasgow, I think, maybe have 8 or 9 flights a day going up and down doing that, just filling in Heathrow so that people can go out on their international flights. So they've all come in on connections and going out on connections. So you can get it where you are supposed to have a full flight and then you end up with a half a flight because the connecting flights are in late. So you just never really know. You just have to wait until basically that door closes as to how many you've got on board. There's a 320 on its way somewhere. So yeah, hopefully one up, one down, and then I'm done. Coming into London from Toulouse, about 15 minutes into the flight, we are giving out our complimentary snacks, and a gentleman on the very last row is clutching onto the tray table, and is bright red, and he's hyperventilating, and his wife is sort of like holding on to him, trying to calm him down. And I just elderly gentleman. Found out later his name's Frank. He's 77 years old, and he's absolutely terrified of flying. Gave him a drink that helps with regards to drinking, and he's just basically got to control his breathing, and he just couldn't get control of it. He was really panicking. So I got him into the galley, got him sat down so it's a bit more space, it's a bit cooler in there, and just helped him to really concentrate on his breathing, give him some breathing exercises, and just kept an eye on him. And I kept him there the entire flight. And he's just like, I just want to shout. I just want to shout, and I'm so embarrassed by it all. And I went, just let it out. Just shout. If you want to shout, just shout. So every time we hit turbulence, he was like, ah! And some passengers around the back of us, they were all laughing. Not that he knew that they were laughing. I could see them laughing. But I was just like, by letting what he was doing, he was panicking and he was holding it all in and he was stopping his breathing. So by allowing him to shout, he's carrying on with his breathing. And we had a good chat to him. He was a bus driver most of his life, and then he also mentored underprivileged kids for 20 years and stuff. He was a lovely man from Ireland, so he was having a good old crack. And he's like, Darren, I'm going to light a candle for you on Friday at Mass. And we get to the end and we get him to London, okay? And he's like, this has been the best and the worst flight that I've ever had, because he was absolutely terrified. There was a lot of turbulence, but I just walked him through it all, and he did it in the end. And his wife was lovely. So another person that I met on this little trip, even though I've missed out on 3 flights, basically. We are about 20 minutes out from Heathrow. Very quiet flight, our last flight. We're only about 60% full, which means we can get through what we need to do really quickly. The point of sale system that we use on board for our High Life Cafe wasn't working correctly, so that means we couldn't do that. So I do a little report on that, so hopefully somebody can have a look at it and make sure it works. But yeah, it's been a very eventful 4 days. Oh, here we go.
Quick update. Well into Odyssey, down at 18,000 feet now, having made it to 35,000 feet earlier on. We've just passed Oxford. We've got about 20 minutes to go, so with that in mind, we'll put the seatbelt signs on for landing in about 10 minutes. Latest weather at Heathrow, clear, calm and dry, temperature 20 Celsius, very nice.
There you go. So we've got about 20 minutes to go. And that will be the end of that 4-day tour. So it was quite an eventful one. I was supposed to do 10 flights. I ended up only doing 7. I was supposed to go to, what was that, 5 countries. Yeah, 5 countries, stay in 3, but I only stayed in 2. Well, I stayed in 1 more if you count home as England, but you don't really count that. So yeah, it was quite an eventful 4 days, and Martina, my cabin crew colleague down the back, is getting married on Friday, so that's very exciting. You excited about that?
I am.
Good.
I am. Still stressed?
Well, stressed is good. If you weren't stressed about it, then that'd be a big worry. So we'll say congratulations to Martina on her wedding, and you've already done the honeymoon, haven't you?
Yes.
Where was that?
Dominican Republic.
Oh, make us all jealous. All right. Reflecting on this whirlwind 4-day 7-sector Euro tour, I'm reminded of the sheer challenges of my role. What began as a 10-sector journey condensed into a captivating 7, showcasing the unpredictability of life in the skies. As I navigate through bustling airports and across borders, I'm struck by the thousands of journeys that are unfolding simultaneously worldwide, each one a unique narrative in motion. It's a privilege to play a part in this global tapestry, guiding passengers with care and ensuring their journeys are safe, smooth, and filled with possibility. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share the Story Pilgrim with fellow travellers and friends. Together, let's connect more people through the magic of storytelling. The story programme was written, produced, recorded by myself, Darren Hill. Original music from Anya Backer. For more information, please search us on all social media, thestorypilgrim.com. Until next time, keep listening, and buen camino.